Hello friends, welcome back to Chicken Run Creations. My name is Dawn. If you are new here, we have been working on our nativity set. If you haven't seen the previous videos for that, go back into my playlists and you can find where we have made Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus, and we are working on a donkey right now. I have previously done a sheep video, which I will probably just use in with my nativity set, one of those sheep, so you can go back and find that. And I'm not sure where we're going to go from there. So anyway, we've been working on our little donkey here, and off camera I went through and kind of firmed him up a little bit more. Kind of just poked his top coat down a bit more so it's firmer. And today we're going to continue to work on him, see how far we can get, and maybe get him done. I'm not sure. We'll see. So anyway, I'm going to start with gluing in his eyes, just because they keep falling out on me. So I have here just some, this is Mod Podge fabric glue. It really doesn't matter what you use, just some kind of tacky glue. So all I'm gonna do here is, let me see if we got my pliers here, or whatever they're called. So I'm just gonna, just to kind of hold it, I'm just gonna dip it into my glue here, get a little bit of glue on there, and then hopefully find my hole so I can stick it in. Like so. I'll do the same on the other side. Really any kind of tacky glue works fine, because then you're going to kind of felt in around it anyway, so that'll help hold it in place. So I just happened to have this glue on my desk for another project that I was working on. So alright, so we got his eyes in here, and I was comparing him to my other guy here, and first off, he's definitely longer by probably an inch. I hemmed and hawed about cutting him down, but I'm just gonna go with it here. I also, like, they have no neck, but I kind of like, it's kind of cute. I think this one definitely is too long. I kind of like the looks of this one better, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. I could always, because I actually think I did that with this one, I cut it in half and like trimmed off a section and then squished it back together again. I could totally do that with this one, but I think I'm just going to keep going with it. I do need to build his head up a little bit more. If you see the difference, I don't know how well you can tell the difference here, but this head is up a little bit more, which I think is indicative of donkeys anyway, looking at my picture here. So I'm going to build that up, and then I think I'm going to work on the ears and see how far we can get with that. Detail his eyes. I think I need to build out his cheeks a little bit more here, but we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start with the ears, I think. And let me see here. I didn't think this out here. I got a piece of paper here somewhere. I was going to draw out his ears. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I just have a sticky note here. So I am going to... So donkeys have pretty long ears. I'm just going to kind of sketch something out here. Make it a little bit bigger. I like to do this, especially if you're making like two of something or more than one of something, to get them close to the same size. So I'm just going to see if I think that's going to be a good size for our donkey here. Maybe. I think that'll work. Alright, so I do need to build his head up, but I'm going to do, I think, his ears first and get them on because that might add a little bit more. So let me get my wool here. It's definitely more than what I need, so let's try this. So what I'm going to do is get my, if I can get it here, sorry, get my little brush, and let me see. I always have a bad habit of either making my ears too thick or too thin. I'm going to just kind of cut that in half a little bit. I think that'll work. So I'm going to get my multi-tool with 5 needles, and I'll just kind of work on flattening this down a little bit. I'll do the other one. Just to get them a little flat here. Alright, so now I'm going to take my pattern here. I'm going to take I guess probably a 36 needle, and I'm just going to outline my pattern here a little bit so I can see where it is. Can you see that? And I probably have too much here, but I'm going to just kind of gently start to kind of fold this over right along where I felted. I felted this right into the mat, so it's kind of stuck in there. So I'm just going to kind of felt this over. See, that gives you a nice edge there. I'll just tack this down here. I'm going to do the same on this side. I have a little too much. See if I can pull some of this off here. And just fold it over just to where it's been tacked into the mat. Like so. Get a smaller needle now and just kind of work this down a little bit. When you're stabbing into your mat, try to keep it really, like, you don't want to go in really deep. See how far I'm going in here? I only want to go in just a little bit, and that'll help with it sticking. I mean, it's going to stick to the mat, but if you don't, like, stab it really hard, just very light pokes. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can measure that. See, I'm only going in like maybe 1/4 of an inch, so I'm not going in really deep. Okay, now I'm going to pull it up, be real gentle pulling it up. You don't want to distort your shape too much. And turn it over, and we'll do some more on this side. I'm keeping it fluffy down at the end so I can attach it. Now the edges are really fluffy there, so we're going to take our finger guards and our cardboard and we'll clean up the edges. But before I do that, I want to get the other one made, just so they're both make sure they're both about the same size. So once again, I'm gonna put my pattern down, take my bigger needle, and just kind of go around the outside of my pattern, poke it into the mat. Okay, see that? And now we'll just start to fold over the edges. And do the same on this side. And switch to my smaller needle and just get it secured in there. Give it a pull very gently and do the other side. So they look kind of fat right now, but when I go around the edges, that'll kind of thin them out a little bit. So I purposely made them a little bit fatter than what I wanted them to be. So this one needs a little bit more felting. You could always trim it too if you find, after you've gone on the edges, if you find that it's still too wide, you could just take a pair of scissors and trim them down. But I think once I do the edges, it'll be okay. So they're pretty close. All right, so now I've just got a couple pieces of cardboard here. You can do this without finger guards if you're brave. I'm not brave. And the cardboard isn't necessary, but I didn't like to use the cardboard at first, but I'm finding the more I use it, the more I kind of like it. I might see if I can find some little pieces of plexiglass and make, because it'll be easier to see, but you can buy them too. I believe somebody sells them online. I'm not sure where. I'll have to see if I can find that. So I'm just sandwiching the ear between my cardboard here, and just very gently. I don't want to do it really hard because I don't want to totally lose my shape, but especially see how I'm going right between the wool and the cardboard, right along there. Same along the bottom. Do it gently because you could break your needle hitting the cardboard, so you want to do it kind of gently. And then just make sure I get the point at the top here. And this will smooth out your ear. Now we're going to add some white and a little bit of black to it as well. So you can see how it's kind of made it a little bit smaller. Do the other side here. Okay, so just kind of get up here a little bit. So can you see the difference here? So I think that's a better size for our donkey. You too? Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, so I'm going to do this one. And I'll probably just speed this up for you while I do this one. think that's pretty good. Just kind of make this a little bit more pointed here. Okay, I actually have two ears that are about the same size. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit of white, and I'm just going to kind of add some white inside his ear here. Just on the inside. You want to poke very gently because you don't want it to come through on the other side. I mean, chances are you'll have some that'll show up, but if it's not too bad, I just leave it, or you can cover it with the gray a little bit, but just light, easy pokes. I'm not looking to totally fill it in, just a light white. It's not too bad. The nice thing about this is it has white in it, so it kind of disappears anyway. Then I'm going to take a little bit of black, and I'm just going to go really thin. Just go right along the edge here. Might be a little bit more than what I want. Let me see here. Get the right angle here. I'm going to pull this out a little bit more so it's not quite so thick. And just a very light coating of black around the edge of the ear. Okay, it's got a lot of fuzzy, it's a kind of a very fuzzy black, but I can either just come along with a pair of scissors and just kind of clean that up a little bit, or just felt it a little bit more. Oops. Okay, so there's one ear. Do the other one the same way. trim in here. Okay, I need to pull this black out just a little bit. Alright, now, let's see here. So I want to kind of pinch his ears a little bit. You can see that. And trying to see here. What's the best way to attach these? They kind of, so I'm just kind of looking at a picture of one I have here. So they kind of, instead of going facing this way, they kind of face out this way. So I think what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to kind of pinch it together down here. Just kind of work this so it's kind of rounded. I think I'm going to kind of attach it like that. Before I do though, let me get a couple straight pins here. I'm just going to kind of put them in like that. Let's see. I have glitter all over my mat here. I was doing Christmas cards yesterday, and some of the ones I was using had glitter, so now I have glitter everywhere. You know how that goes, right? I have no Christmas crafts this year that have glitter. However, my Christmas cards did, and now I have glitter everywhere. Alright, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to put them on just yet. I just kind of want to see how they look. Now, what do you think? Think they'll work? I might have to go and pull up a picture of a donkey here just to kind of look at its ears a little bit, but I think they'll work. I'm not going to put them on yet though, because I want to, just because they're going to be a kind of a pain to work around, I want to build up his head just a little bit more first, get his eyes done. Let's see, I'm just kind of looking at, compare the two of them here. So I know I need to build up his forehead, and I think I need to build up around in here a little bit more. So I'm going to take a few minutes and do that. I'm just going to speed it up to do it, and once I have that done, I'll come back on and we will see about attaching the ears. Well, I'll show you how to do the eyes here first, but let me build this up a little bit more, and then I'll come back and we'll do the eyes and attach the ears and see where we're at that point. think his head looks a little bit better. You can see that there. Okay, let's do his eyes. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white. Actually, I think before I do that, let me just kind of go around his eyes a little bit here because they're kind of sticking out. So I just want to kind of build up around the eye a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to take some of my gray and just kind of go right around the eye. Not really making eyelids like you would if you were doing like a realistic donkey. I'm just kind of building up around it just to kind of blend it in a little bit more. If you're making a realistic looking donkey, then you'd want to give it eyelids. But we're just going for fun here. This will also help it to hold in a little bit better too, the eyes. Okay, I like that better. So now I'll do the same on the other eye, but let's put the white in. So I want to kind of give it a little bit of definition. So like a little point down in this area, and then a little point in this area here. I'm just kind of marking it for myself. So I'm gonna take my white really thin, and I don't want to push, I don't want to tap it in too hard because I don't want to lose it, but I don't want it to be like really pronounced either. So just gonna kind of make like a little V here, the front of his eye, and then just bring the white around. And then I want to have another V, oops, back in here. And then bring this forward. Might be a little too thick here on the top. We'll see. So I'm just very gently going down and poking it. I'm just going to cut this off here. And bring it back down to where we started. And just work it in. Make sure you keep that point. And we'll just trim the little flyaways here. Okay. I think I'm going to take just a little bit of gray and go just around that. Kind of funky thing there. Just so it's not quite so pronounced. So the gray will kind of soften the edge of the white up a little bit. And I'm just using my 42 triangle for all this work. And I'll do the same across the top. Now, if you were making this so children could play with it, I wouldn't use glass eyes. I would use needle felted eyes. I mean, obviously it depends on the age of the children. If you have older children, it would be alright. Because even though you glued it in, there's a chance that it could pull out. So if you're gonna make them to sell, you just want to let your customers know that. Alright. Not too bad. Just kind of poking it in just a little bit more. It's a little pronounced here. Okay, can probably build up a little bit more there. I'm going to do the other side now, see if I can get them to look kind of the same. So it's going to kind of compare the two sides. So I want point to come here and then back in here. So you just kind of mark it with your needle a little bit. And let's see, it's always harder for me to work it on this side. I don't know, do you have a side that you prefer to work on compared to the other side? I always find it's harder for me to work on one side than it is on the other. Alright, this is going in a bit too far. Might have to go over it again. So I'm just going to kind of compare them so I know where I am. See, I always get one side that looks really good and the other side that doesn't look as good. Not too bad. Still has no neck, but it's alright. We'll put a bow around his neck and then that will kind of cover that up a little bit. Alright, so let's do his tail next, so I don't have to worry about his ears getting in the way. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put some black around the bottom of his feet for hoofs. I don't know how you say it. Hooves. I'm just going to wrap some black around the base of his feet. Off camera and just do the rest of his hooves like that. I think I'm going to kind of build up here a little bit more too, but so I'll do that off camera so you're not sitting there watching me put black around there. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll come back and we'll do the tail. Alright, while doing the hooves, I decided to beef out the legs a little bit more. So I'll show you. I've done one side here. So what I did was I kind of added more wool here and added more wool in here. So you can really see the difference between the two sides here. Probably harder to see on this side, but I think I like it a little bit meatier here. So I'm going to do the same. I'll show you how I did that. I also added a little bit more on his belly here, so I'm going to add more here just because see how I have this is really kind of sticking out a lot here, so I want to kind of pull that in and add a little bit more on this side. So I'm going to show you how I did that. We'll start with the front legs. I got all the hooves done. Get some more gray here. So what I did was I just kind of took little bits of my gray. Let's see, we're going to work on this side first here. I just kind of made a little pillow. And I want to, if you can see here, how much more I have this compared to here. So I'm just going to take, this might even be a little too much. Let me break that down just a little bit. I'm going to do a lot. I just want to do a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to kind of tuck that in there, get my finger guards on here. I'm just going to tack this in. I don't want to add a lot in this area here, but I want to add enough to make this kind of a smooth transition from the leg up to the body. There's his chest area here. And just do little bits at a time. Need to come down a little bit more around his hoof there too, because I made it a little too high up. So I'm just going to kind of wrap around just so they're all kind of the same. Plus I think it looks a little bit better with the gray going over instead of the black going over. Sounds like his leg over here sticks out more than the other one. So I'm just going to keep kind of adding little tufts here. It's not the easiest area to work on, but I'll get it. I don't want to build this side of the leg up. I just want to build the inside up. Getting there. So just gonna keep kind of going back and forth comparing the two of them. Oops. You can see it's looking a little closer. Just kind of figure out where I need it to go. And don't worry about the seams from where you add. Now this will blends in pretty well, but if you have like where you can see a seam from where you added new, you can just place a thin coating over the top of that to blend it all out. But don't worry about that until you get it all built up. looks better. So now I need to do his back leg here. So I'm going to add in here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make some pillows. Don't go too big. I'm going to kind of add it right in this area here. So I need to go over that with my fine needle and a little bit more. And probably what I will do is just kind of do because you can kind of see the directions of the wool here, I'll probably just do like a really thin layer over it all. So now, I'm trying to think if I need to beef up his head a little bit more. I mean, their heads are fairly small. Maybe after I put the ears on, I'll kind of see how it looks. I feel like I need to bring it a little bit more. Okay. All right, we're going to do the tail next. So I need to just kind of pull up a picture here of what the tail looks like so I get that right. So let me pull that up and we'll get the tail going. All right. Let's get his tail on here. So I'm just taking some black and I'm going to lay it across the back of his tail. Actually, I'm going to go it this way. Alright, so I'm just kind of laying it maybe a little too long. Let's see here if I make it a little bit shorter. Gonna lay it right across the back of his tail, and I'm gonna very carefully stab this down, this bottom part. I'm leaving the top part fluffy. It's not the easiest thing to do because there's not much there to work with. Kind of stab it in best you can. And you're going to take this part and flip it over like so, and then stab just the top part of this down, just to hold it down. If you can see that. Okay. I'm going to turn it over and do the same on the other side. I might need to use my finger guards for this. It might work a little bit better. So I'm going to lay that there and just very gently stab that in. So remember you have wire in there, so be careful as you're stabbing. And then fold it down and just kind of stab across the top. See if I can do it this way. Not the easiest thing to work on, but I'll get it. Okay, we're going to do that again. Up a little bit. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up just a little bit and secure this down. The tops might work better for this. This is a roving. If you had tops and the hairs were all going in one direction, it might work a little bit better, but that's what I got handy here, so. And I think I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side before I fold it down. Put that on there. Okay, I'm just going to fold this down over the other, kind of stab it in. Put my finger guards on, make it a little bit easier. So I'm just stabbing across the top. You can kind of comb it down with your needle. I want to make sure this is in here good and secure. Okay. Now I'm just going to kind of brush it out a little bit. Use the thicker needle. And I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of give it a trim here. Sometimes I feel like I should take a hair cutting class so I can learn how to cut fur. And I have a friend who does dog grooming. Maybe I should take a class with her. Okay. Oh, we got black all over everything here. Yeah, not the greatest, but I think it'll work. Alright, now let's tackle the ears here. Okay, I put pins in where I think they need to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this excess off here. Do the same on this one. Okay, so now the ears are going to go, I want them going back. So I just put a couple pins in there to kind of mark where I think I want it to go. I'm just going to pin that in, and I think it needs to go back further. And let's do the same on this side. Just sticking it in right now so I can see. So I think I need to move this one up just a little. Nope, not that much. I think this can be the hardest part. I'm just gonna tack this down just a little bit here. You want the ears to be kind of squished together. Let me just bring it down a little bit. Sides of the ears, that is, to be kind of squished together. Let's see. All right, now let's see if I can get the other side to be kind of the same. Let's see what we got here. think I got them where I want them to be. So I'm just using my 36 needle here because I want to kind of stab it in really good. It looks good from the side. So now I'm just going to kind of work on stabbing it in here. See how I'm kind of pushing in from the side? I'm going to do the same up here. And then I want to get in the back here too. Let's do the same on this side. Again, that working from the other side always gets to me. So poke in from the side so we can get it to kind of curve in a little bit. Side is always harder to work on for me. I think this ear is a little bit thicker than the other one was. You have a really nice indent on that one, and this one not quite so much. Let's see if I can do it this way. Not bad. Okay, so I could take some wool and just kind of go around that ear a little bit. Well, it blends in pretty good, so. Looks kind of weird from the front. If you can see, his eye looks a little weird on the camera. Could just be the camera. All right, so I think it's almost like he's looking in another direction from this side. Okay, so now let's get some more black here, and let's give him a little bit of hair or mane on top of his head. I think he looks good from the side. I think from here I think maybe he needs to be a little bit wider across the head, but I'm just gonna kind of lay some wool down the center. I'm gonna just kind of felt it down the middle. Try and keep it in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna kind of bring it up. See if I can do this. Bring it up and over just a little bit, and just kind of felt down the middle here. Hopefully it's centered. I'm going to flip it over. Do the same on this side. Anyway, okay, so I got his mane on here. So now I'm just going to kind of trim this up here. I tried to. Not really sure how short it should be. It's probably going to look worse than if I just leave it. Alright, so one more thing that we need to do here, I guess that looks okay, is give him some nostrils. So, I want to do, if I want to do black or gray, I'm just going to do a couple, just some really small, probably cut that in half. No, this might not be dark enough. I might have to either get a darker, and all we're going to do is just gonna actually get my marker here, just kind of mark where I want his nostrils to go. I'll use this gray, and if it's not dark enough, I'll switch it over to black. Goodness, I got all kinds of noises today. Well, the truck is next door at my neighbor's. See that? too bad. Let's see if I can get the other one close to where that one is. Okay. All right. I think I am going to call him done. So what could I have done differently? So one thing I know I definitely would have done differently is make his neck a little bit longer. Because he doesn't really have a neck. But I think he looks okay. So I definitely would have made his neck a little bit longer. And his body just a little bit shorter, probably like by about an inch. And I don't know, other than that, I don't think he's too bad. I think this side looks better than this side. You could also, I'm not going to do it on this just because I don't want to take the time to do it, but you could use a reverse needle. I'll have to do a project sometime with a reverse needle. So a reverse needle, you probably can't see this, but the barbs are going in the other direction from what they do on a regular needle. And so when you pull it in and you pull it back out, it draws out the under layer, can you see that, of your wool. I'll just do a few here so you can kind of see how it's pulling out your wool. So you could kind of make it, you could trim that and make it like fluffy, have fur on it, but I don't think I'm going to do that with this. I just don't want to take the time. I have lots of other stuff to do, so, but you could definitely kind of do a reverse needle and get some hair on your donkey, but I think we're going to call him done. I don't have the rest of my nativity handy here, so I will pull that out and I will do a picture and post it up here of everything we have done so far, and maybe find one of my little sheep that I've done a while ago. You'll have to go back and see if you can find the videos for my little sheep, and I'll add the little sheep to Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. And I think I probably will not put up a video. Well, maybe I will next week. The week after that, Christmas week, I probably will not put up a video unless I manage to get 2 made next week. So maybe we'll do in the angel next, and if I have time to work on the bodies for the shepherds or wise men, I will maybe do a video with dressing them, because they'll go together the same way as Joseph and Mary did. I already have heads made for them. I just have to do the bodies. So depending on what kind of time I have, we have family coming up the week of Christmas, so I'll be busy enjoying my grandchildren that week. So maybe, and we'll see what next week brings. I got to clean my house tomorrow and do some baking on Saturday and see what else I can get accomplished this weekend. So we'll see. Hopefully next week I'll get a video out. If not, I will see you after the holidays. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas with your family and loved ones. And, you know, remember the reason for the season is, you know, the birth of Jesus. So anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully I mean, he definitely could have a slightly bigger head for the size of his body, but I think he turned out okay. And maybe I'll finish up the other donkey too, and we'll have 2 donkeys. So that's it for this time. I greatly appreciate you watching and subscribing, and if you like what you see, please share my videos with others. And I have lots of plans coming up for the new year, so hit that subscribe button so you can find out what new videos are going to come up and what classes I'm going to have. Lots of fun stuff planned for next year. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.